Give it up. Hey! There you go. Looking very dapper. I like it.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
So the last time I saw you, we were discussing the Royal Sessions and how this is obviously a labor of love for you. Now, why do I think that taking this record on the road is different than anything else you've done before?
Well, you know, the guys are session musicians, and they spend a lot of time in the studio, and you know, they're not young. To be honest with you, a lot of them, the Reverend Charles is, you know, I think he's in his 70s, it's fair to say, so I wouldn't really want to drag him out on the road. So what I'm going to try and do is record a show and make a DVD so we can kind of capture the essence of what we, you know, captured, I think, on record as a record. We can capture that visually as well, you know, that's what the idea is. So we did a show down in Memphis a couple of nights ago, the first show we did together. So what I've done is create from the music a show, you know, and it's hard to explain the difference between, you know, a bunch of tracks on a record and a show, but it has to flow smoothly, and you only get one shot at it, you see. Right. So you kind of going from one song to the next, and it's like boom all the way through, and that's what we'll do.
Is this a different thing to just to sort of prepare mentally for a solo tour versus when you're touring with Bad Company?
Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. This is something that's been in the back of my mind for a long time. It's music that I have always loved, you know, since I was 14 and 15, and I listened to this music, and I thought, wow, where do these guys come from? And I didn't think I'd actually ever be in the place that they were recording, you know, with some of the guys that were on those tracks.
Down there at Stax, yeah.
And it was amazing for me. When I first walked into the studio, I was quite nervous, to be honest with you. Even all the tours and the gigs and the bands and everything that I've done, this was kind of like, this is the real deal here, you know.
Gotta bring your A game. These guys don't play.
That's right, man. So, but it was really great. They were very welcoming. It was like being part of their family. Once, you know, they thought, okay, look at this guy sing. You know, let's see what he can do. And I went into that song. If I were the sun way up there, I'd go with you everywhere. And they went, oh, okay, he kind of knows what he's doing. Let's go. And
he can stay.
He can stay. It's good for the session anyway. So we did this, and we stayed in that groove for the entire album, really, and it was just a beautiful experience for me.
Now, Memphis got into you, obviously, because you're not going to get rich off of this record.
You know, it's all right. It's good.
Right. But what I'm trying to get to is you're giving up a good portion of your royalties to charity, yes?
Well, everything we earn from this will go down to the Memphis Academy of Music, where the kids there, and you know, it's great actually because they teach the kids. It's not just music; it's a sense of community and a sense of belonging. So even if they don't turn out to be great musicians in any respect, but they'll feel a kind of brotherhood, you know, a sisterhood, and a connection with people. And it's really, it's a good life lesson, I think, that they teach them there. It's good.
So when you wrap up this solo tour, Bad Company on tour again with the homies, Leonard Skinner again.
Yeah.
Now on paper, it doesn't make the most sense to me. It doesn't make the most sense to me on paper, but obviously it works.
What, ourselves and Leonard Skinner?
Yeah, because I mean, you know, even though Bad Company's a hard rock band, there's a lot of soul injected in there, and they don't necessarily with the Confederate flag, they don't necessarily see like, yay, soul.
But you know, actually, the guys that were telling me when we first toured with them, way back in the 70s, you know, the original band, before the tragedy and the crash and everything like that, all the original guys, they were very influenced. In fact, it was the music of Free that my previous band that set them off. So we have similar influences. I think it makes for a good tour because we're two different bands, but we're kind of in the same ballpark. It's kind of it's rock, you know, and it's got a touch of country and a touch of soul to it. So I think it's pretty good actually.
Now, how long will the Bad Company tour be? Because you know, if Mr. Plant keeps being curmudgeonly, there might be a chance that you might get a call from your old pal Jimmy. Do you know any Led Zeppelin songs, mate? Would you be willing to learn some?
No, that's definitely not on the cards. I understand that.
Oh, you almost joined Aerosmith.
No, I didn't almost join Aerosmith. Actually, he came to. They did ask me, but I said, you know, man, you guys just need to, you know, sort out your differences. Aerosmith is a great band. Once, you know, I mean, it was not like the Queen situation was an entirely different situation because they had this fantastic band and the singer was gone. There was no way that was ever going to happen unless they found someone who can fit in that slot. Aerosmith was a different thing. They, you know, Steve was still there, and all they had to do was get it together, which they're doing, and it's great. Yeah.
It's interesting, just talking about them, both Joe Perry and Joey Kramer have mentioned they might not make another record again, which automatically brought me to Bad Company, because Bad Company hasn't put out a new album since 1996, and you weren't even on that. So do you and Simon talk about recording new music ever?
No, we don't. Actually, it's Mick and myself that write the songs generally, but we haven't, you know, we've really, when we've gone out, it's been, I don't know, every 5 years or something like that, you know. And I do about 20 or 30 shows a year. 10 of them will be with Bad Company this year. It depends. I'm kind of open to things. You know, maybe Mick will come up with a song, or I'll come up with a song, maybe we'll do something, I don't know.
Yeah, how do you even, okay, between the many bands you've been in, and obviously the huge catalog, how do you even put together a set list when you go out solo? Because you have so much stuff to cull from.
Well, you know, the idea that I've been with a lot of bands, I need to correct that statement a little bit, because I haven't actually, I formed the bands, you know, I formed Free, I formed Bad Company, and The Firm with Jimmy. The only band I sort of joined forces with was Queen, you know, and I've been asked a lot to join various bands, but I never actually have done too much joining of bands. And every time you'll notice that there is a brand new set of, with Free we had our songs, with Bad Company there are songs for that one, and, you know, a new set of songs for each band. When I do my solo shows, I have a pick of the crop. Actually, I do all the best from all of the bands, the songs I've written with each of the bands.
In addition to being here with us, you're doing a show at Town Hall.
Yes, I'm going to be with my brilliant soul guys. They're all coming up from Memphis, all flying up on the plane. Everybody's turning up. All the rhythm section, the brass section, the girls, everything. You know, so it's fantastic that. I don't think they would actually do it if they really didn't love what we did in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so wrapping up, because people want to hear you and not me. You are an animal lover to the point where, even more than most, the Animal Sanctuary, the Willows Animal Sanctuary. How did that happen? How did your involvement happen with that?
Well,
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. It's my wife Cynthia that's really interested in that. She's kind of hiding in the back there. Cynthia, hooray! It's an animal charity in the wilds of Scotland, actually, and Joe Bonamassa introduced us to it, you know, and we got really behind it because they take everything in, horses, you know, dogs, pigs, just everything in. They recently had a little baby deer, which is apparently what, 6 inches, 12 inches.
Yeah, I watched a video of a donkey that had just been born.
I know, and they're miniature donkeys, all kinds of things. So they need a lot of money. So we try to, you know, what is it, sweetie?
It's the sanctuary before heaven.
The sanctuary.
The unwanted, abused, three-legged, blind, deaf, old. Yeah.
Do you want to come up and tell
So
me?
it's an absolute no-kill shelter for sure.
It's a no-kill shelter at all, and but I mean, how much money do they need per month?
They run it at £17,000 per month.
Pounds
They have
sterling.
98 horses, currently 60 cats. and
Yeah.
dogs, and that doesn't
Wow.
include all the other animals that they have.
So it's amazing undertaking, and they're so dedicated. So we help out where we can, don't we?
Right, yeah, there's auctions going on their website for memorabilia, your stuff,
Yeah,
to raise money.
I might even do a show out there. I've done a couple of shows, and I do a little sort of private show. Yeah, it's like a little, about 600 people, and I play all of the Free material because they're very big Free fans there, you know. So I play a lot of Fire Water, Wishing Well, Or Now, and all that kind of those songs, and people love it.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of the way. It's so good to see you.
You too, man.
It's so nice of you to come back.
Yeah.
You got a few in you want to knock out for us?
Yes, I do. I'll wander over there, shall I?
All right, please
Okay.
do.
All
Give
right.
it up for Paul Rogers, would you please?